Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Disclosures. We have an update of new information from Peter the Insider and some research that I've done to try to provide more information for you to be better prepared for what's going on out there. We're not going to get too heavily into the political aspect of things, but we will be discussing having you to become a little bit more aware and touching on topics of concern that Peter has presented to me. So without further delay, we're going to get right into it with Peter the Insider. And hello, Peter.
I want to say hello to you and to all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners.
Okay, so Peter, you contacted me this morning and told me that there's, because of the bleed throughs and because of, we didn't mention the Nordics, but we've already mentioned the Nordics before, and that there's an escalation of things. There's kind of a irritation of, there's not a lot of accurate news. There's a lot of sensationalism to persuade people to move from one direction to another. And and also that they're, kicking the hornet's nest, trying to incite, a World War III incident or multiple incidences. And so with that concern, you were bringing up different things regarding the level of communication and the attempt to shut down the all internet and communication in Europe in particular. And that is the next step because they keep on agitating and trying to enforce certain things, whereas there's obviously two sides to every story, and it's forcing this escalation. But we also have bleed-throughs as well, so our time is shifting backwards. We're kind of in a Cold War, revisiting Cold War experience right now of an overlay of realities. Sorry, Peter, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think?
No, it's completely fine that you said multiple, or I don't know, like you got multiple topics to the table, because what is happening right now, I don't know how can I call this whole phenomenon like in proper way, with this, let's say, backshifting or downshifting, literally, like, because I was talking about it, and let's say if we are calling it in more, let's say, vague term, because it should be vague, because even we in ACIO are not 100% sure if we are talking about different timelines, different realities, or maybe some sort of bleed-throughs from I don't know, another spaces, universes, or dimensions, or whatever. And it's so confusing. And the main stuff is that it is happening at all. It is creating distortion. It is creating chaos. People don't know what they should think. People don't know what they should or shouldn't believe, and all kind of those stuff. And I was like, okay, how in the world should I explain this, what is going on right now to people, to common people? And there were those kind of scientists, and they are tremendously good in physics and chemistry and math. And I was like, holy crap, I can't go here on the show and tell this to common people. And no, I don't want to underestimate our listeners, because I got, like, let's say, from 1 to 10, and I stopped to understand the whole stuff what they were talking about in 10 or maybe 9, I don't know. And they let's say, were catapulted, like from catapult sky high, I don't know how many levels. And I was like, okay guys, can you explain this just a little bit more easy? And I was like, no, this is not this is not the way. So long story short, what is happening, if you have car with manual gearbox and you don't know what you are doing, aka you don't know, pretty much like, it is old car, it has problems with clutch, and it has, let's say, certain manufacturers, I don't know, Japanese cars, you exactly know which gear you are going to. But for example, French cars, if you are used to French cars, you know it. That it's, I don't want to say it is not an issue, but you know that there are certain lags, certain spaces, and whatever that way. But it's pretty much the same story, right? It's like, if you don't know how to use clutch in very almost worn out car, if you don't know, okay, fine, this is either 1 or this is 3 or this is 5, and you pretty much messed up the engine because of that. And this is literally what is happening with our reality. So reality, quotes in quotes, is worn out, and even those kind of very crazy ass things or phenomenon are happening, like Bluetooths of multiple layers. And I was like, what? This is crazy, because, as I like to say, like, this kind of university high class math, no, screw you math, I don't like. I mean, as I said, I was catching up with them to 10, and they were like, I don't know, 100 or maybe 1000. And I was like, no, this is not the way. And this is it. Like, literally, you mess your car because I mean, it's because, let's say, it is not yours, it's just borrowed, and you don't know how to properly drive it, because gearbox, it's worn out too, and whatever. And this is it, what is causing us problems. And so this is the first situation. Second situation is, on purpose, they are spreading different agendas, different propagandas,
Yeah.
and it is like polarizing people to two sides,
Right.
like plus minus, white, yellow, 0, 1, or 1, 0, or west versus east, or vice versa. That pretty much doesn't matter. And this is the problem. People don't, and this is the stuff. It is all news are all over the place. You don't know what the heck should you believe or shouldn't, if there is some sort of relevancy of the news or whatever. and especially in Europe, I don't want to say, or it's, let's say, spread panic or bad news, but the situation is in Europe that they will completely shut down the grid. And the question now is question not if, but only when. And this is the big problem, right? And people, let's say people west, down the west, and it is not down the west because it should be like down the south, but let's say left to the west from Ukraine, they are living in some sort of fake-ish created comfort bubble. They don't know what is going on, or they don't believe that something can happen, or something similar, let's call it that way, something similar can happen or occur in their countries, because it's not only one country only, we are talking about multiple countries. And they are like, nah, nothing bad will happen here. No, it's like, and this is it. I'm not talking about, for example, Slovakia, right? My homeland, because we are neighbor country from Ukraine. No, I'm talking about, I don't know, Austria, Germany, France. Those people living in those countries, they don't believe, they don't care. It's like, nah, we are far away. And this is the problem. The politicians, the mainstream media, they are saying, I don't want to take sides, but let's say it's like, hey guys, stop, don't be worried, it's far away from us, not a big deal, and all kind of those things. And once again, I don't want to spread panic, but let's say, guys, we should be, I don't want to say worried, but let's say we should be prepared for any, and I mean literally any case of scenario. And I was talking about, and this is it, I'm here in Land Down Under in Australia. I was talking about this situation here in Land Down Under in Australia, and they were like, like, do you know what I mean? Ticking with their pointing finger to their heads. And they were like, what the heck are you talking about? It's in Europe, it's Eastern Europe. And I was like, are you really sure that it will be in Eastern Europe only? That it will stay in Eastern?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I literally said to those people, are you that naive? You know, so I don't know what the heck should I think about it. But sorry, you want to continue, so sorry for that.
Yeah, no, it is something that we have to take very seriously, and you're right, you can't take one side over the other, because it's a dangerous situation and everyone will lose. No one's going to win in this scenario. No one. And so there's been a lot of different crises where you have different groups of people living in one community. And so even in Georgia, there were like loyalists to the Russians and kind of didn't want to be a part of, didn't like the way things were going in Georgia, and there was a conflict there.
Yeah.
Someone brought up Serbia as another example, where you have, the Muslims and the Catholics, and they got along well for a long time, and then suddenly out of nowhere, they started having problems.
And this is, sorry for interrupting you, but this is my problem. I mean, you are, let's say, insider from this point of view. I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, they are going well for I don't know how many centuries, not decades. And
Right.
What do you think from, let's say, astral way or energetic level? I want to ask you, what's the possible, let's say, what was the spark, or what was the match? Who simply hit the match? Just tell me. I don't know. I can't get it.
Well, I think, I mean, I can go in a few different directions. I mean, from a political direction, I know that Ukraine was an issue that was, brought up during the Trump administration to discredit Trump, and the involvement of Biden, Hunter Biden's involvement there as well. That kind of triggered some things, but things have been going on in the background for a long time. And
sorry for interrupting you again. Hunter, you mean his son, president's son?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's from a political perspective. I believe from a spiritual perspective, and we've had these discussions, that if I start looking at things, it doesn't make sense from spiritually. I'm seeing overlays of realities conflicting, the different timelines crossing, and so in this case, this spinning of backwards in time, someone did something to like the chronosphere, they just wound it backwards, and we're kind of revisiting. And you and I have talked about this before, how
yes.
Even though it is 2022, technically we might be maybe in like the 1960s.
Actually, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So it's almost like that kind of thought that is not letting go. And also, if it spins back to World War II, we know this is a revisiting of the Axis group, and then also the introduction to nuclear war, which should never have been introduced into our reality in the first place. That's
true. Another piece of.
But well, some people contend that even Shiva, way back in early Sanskrit writings, that he was using nuclear weaponry, or something similar to that. So it has been introduced.
Once again, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but according because you have knowledge, it is not like you think. I know that you know things about that.
Right.
And what do you think, was those ancient scripts, I don't want to say if they were real, because they were, obviously, but those kind of what they described, can it be literally like nuclear detonation or explosions? What do you think?
I mean, we're talking about extremely advanced beings who, there's different things that happened through not just our planet, but throughout the universe, and the use of the alchemy of what we have, all the different elements that are here. They're actually, and even what humans are made up of, and how we relate to the earth, and being carbon based, and our connection to this planet, but others are created in a different way. So the alchemy and the way that things are taken and brought together, the science of things, is ingrained in our reality. And those that were the creator beings, I call, like Shiva was a creator being, who actually knows and possibly introduced these elements in the combination, as we understand, in our reality. And so they understand what certain things can happen. Other advanced societies that have come here or have been watching over humanity, from afar, whether you want to say they were good or bad, or that they had a favorite race of people, or whatever that they felt like they were nurturing and watching over. And then there were those that were bringing in other types of advanced technology, right? So they have all of this knowledge, much more than we do, and they understand the combination of certain things. And as humans are learning it, here again, instead of taking it and saying, wow, we could actually build these cities that are energy free, the air isn't toxic, there isn't any other problems, we could have plenty of housing for everyone, and the food situation could be healthy and nutritious or whatever. We didn't take that. Those that were in charge actually took all of the advanced tech, and first thing they do is introduce it into a war scenario for power and domination. And so with Shiva had an understanding of things around him and an awareness, not for domination. He doesn't need to dominate. When you understand your self power, your own individual power, you don't feel like you need to control others.
That's true. That's true, actually. Yeah.
It's consciousness, right? So you know that, Peter, you're in the position that you're in because they trust you, that you're not going to take your knowledge and advanced tech that you have to harm other people.
Of course not. That will never do so. Of course not.
Right. Well, that's why you're allowed to be in contact with it. And so you have permission. Others that have gotten a hold of this stuff do not have permission. So it's creating a field of chaos just around them personally, and then others will feel it and it spreads out. Even though there are those that feel like they're winning or they can do something, at any given second, one of the advanced beings could shift the timeline or reset the timeline so we don't get destroyed. And I know we've talked about the ACIO being able to do that.
Yes, that's true.
So, and whether or not you want to bring that up.
Yes, but this is the stuff, I mean, maybe we are getting too much off topic, but those people, if let's call them individuals, they want to, because, it is not like being in ACIO only. I've been within military for more than 3 decades, and
yes,
I'm trying to get in depth, really in depth within their mindsets, and I'm totally lost in that, or in this, and this is like the question maybe for you, that immediately once there is new technology or whatever, why they are they want to, or they are up to get it into war technological stuff, because I've got only one, but this is it. This is not what I know or what it is. It's my, let's say, it's a result of my observation that they are low vibration or low conscious. This is from my point of view, okay? But once again, it's only my opinion, because it's like, what in the world? It's like if people are, how can I call it, like primal. That means, in also because I lived in French-speaking countries, so as bon vivants, like they like to eat well, they like to drink good stuff, they like to have intimate encounters with people they don't know, or people they are just attractive physically and whatever, and this is like, let's say, primal instincts. And this is, from my point of view, like the same stuff. Like, okay, pretty much I am not dominant or whatever. I've got certain problems with me, with myself. So that means those people have problems with themselves, and that's it. Via making, let's say, turning the newest technology into war stuff, new types of warfare, instead, as you said, like zero pollution, or I don't know, like free energies things. From my point of view, that's the thing, that's the outcome. They are low vibration, low consciousness. I don't know if it is true or not. This is my opinion. What do you think about it?
I think it's that, and also there's a lot of fear. So, and let me explain.
But fear from what, Jessica? From what?
Well, say, all right, so they kicked the hornet's nest with Putin, because they know Putin, like you said, is the sleeping bear, and you shouldn't wake up the sleeping bear.
That's a bad idea.
Right. And then they thought, well, let's get a whole bunch of people against him. And that, which further, a bear doesn't think about whether they're afraid. They're ready to just, attack. Right. So it just is agitating and pushing things in a certain direction. But then everyone else is, like you said, they're nervously have their finger over the button because now they're scared. And so this is a really, really bad scenario for everyone. And like you said, so many other people have nuclear weapons. I mean, we can literally just wipe out the planet, and it's like, what's
yes.
Yes. I have people contacting me that have dreams of seeing a broken planet, and that they sort of get pulled off the planet. I don't know if this has already happened. I feel it has, and people are recalling it, but also that it's a potential for our future unless we wake up. And
unless yes.
And we have to exercise our consciousness, even on the behalf of those that are not able to do that and are being influenced through any levels of mind control and propaganda right now. So this has been leading up to a series of one problem after another by the elite, trying to control, manipulate, and handle humanity. It's created a lot of confusion. And, they have their little comfortable places where they can go underground or off planet or something. And so all they're doing is just creating chaos for us. So, so it's a combination of, just not lower consciousness. There are people who are not doing the spiritual work, so they're in a lot of fear. And then those leaderships in other countries that know that they're kicking the hornet's nest right now have a shaking finger over the red button. And so
yes, that's true.
Yeah, and we've talked about this, like, everyone being nervous at this point, and it's not a good place to be in. It's really not. So we have to be aware. And so what you told me the past couple of days, Peter, which is really important, is that in order for them to exercise the next level of propaganda, mind control, and remove the element of the public, the masses knowing what's going on, they're going to try to wipe out the grid in Europe and cut off communication so much that even those digital radios that you suggested are not even going to be effective.
Yes, this is the stuff like, and let's say that's kind of like, okay, this is contradictional, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, give me a second. We are talking about, maybe we should promote this radio. I was talking about Texan product line. Texan, where are you, Texan radios? Where are you, Texan radios? Where are you?
These are the analog radios.
Yes, but give me a second. I was talking about Texan radios, and most of them have it is not a PLL but DSP, digital sound processor radios.
There's
but though they've got those we can see. Yes, you. Okay, that's great. Because if you can see, you've got, I don't know, like dual conversion radio, this, what it is, R 9700, if I can see it. No, I mean, yes, maybe, nope. It's like this in the second row.
This one right here, or?
No, this, yes. Because as you can see, it's fine. Yes, this. It's fine that you got international broadcast bands. It's great. But do you know what is the problem here? I will say you something. because most times, most of the, once again, not all, but most of those common widely used frequencies within broadcast bands will be jammed. So pretty much if someone will will try to get the message for long distances, they need to operate outside of those frequencies we can see on the radio, right? That's it. That's it. I'm just saying.
So which one do you recommend?
The stuff is we are calling it general coverage radio. That means or that equals from 1.6 to 30 megahertz, right? This is general.
Have a brand that we can look at that has that.
Pretty much, and this is the problem. Old school radios, right? That means we can consider them as almost vintage radios.
Yeah, these are like the vintage ones. Some people have them still, but not a lot of people. They are, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we can see right now because but those are good examples. They are from what, like 1920s? No, 1930s. As I can see, like late
1959 here.
Yes, late 20s, maybe early 30s, and
that's if it works.
Sorry, what?
That's even if it works.
You will be maybe surprised, but there are people like community, they are enthusiasts in those kind of stuff, and they will become very valuable, believe me. So let's say
because we're going back in time, and
yes, so since the late 20s, maybe early 30s, and I don't know, like till first half of 50s, and they should be tube radios, not transistor radios or whatever, right? Like that. Yeah.
I was starting to look at I was looking at Fallout, the video game Fallout, and they have these old-fashioned radios, but technically their storyline takes place in like right around after World War II, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so everyone would have these radios then.
Yes.
So this is what I'm saying is it's almost like it's pushing us back in time, but we don't have access to all of this.
Let's say if we want to talk about full coverage radios, we can talk about what? Panasonic radios from 70s and 80s. I don't know, Panasonic RF, I don't know, 400.
Like this one right here. Oh, I did 24.
No, Panasonic 4900. This is like very collectible one. 4900, yeah. But it's professional radio. I don't know why we can't see it. That's my question. Maybe we didn't hit the enter.
Yeah, it's not working for some reason.
Yes, this is it what I was talking about. And we don't have pictures, so maybe images. Yeah. And this is it. Yes, this is it. National Panasonic RF 4900. This is perfect example. It's tabletop radio. You can it can operate from both from mains 100 to 120 and 220 to 240 volts, or from D-cell batteries. So they will last forever because they are D-cell batteries, a lot of capacity. It's full coverage radio, and don't be confused. It has digital readout, but it's fully analog from A to Z. And if we can see the bigger picture of radio, I don't know. Do we have bigger picture? That's my. I mean, I sent you bigger picture. I sent you pretty big picture. Yeah, this is big. You can click it. Yes. So for example, this is the best thing we can see. It's like, okay, what the heck is going on? Why is it so important? It's very easy. Because most ham, that mean operators, aka radio amateurs, they will not use AM, aka shortwave, but it's AM, it's normal mode. Instead of that, they will use SSB, aka single sideband, right? And pretty much if you can see, or sorry, if we can see BFO pitch, we can see it, right? This knob, yes. And it's pretty much you simply start, it's AM mode and it's CW, that means continue wave. So if someone will broadcast via Morse code, it's for that, or SSB, that means single sideband, and you will tune up perfect frequency for perfect frequency setup for those ham operators. The basic question is, why the heck should I be interested in ham operators? It's very easy. Because of that they are using single sideband, they don't need to use tremendous amounts of energy to transmit their transmission in the first place. And in the second place, they can be jammed by, jammer, but it will be much more complicated to be properly jammed in order not to be hearable, or let's say listenable at all. Or for example, if we can see in the very right of the radio that there is ANT trim. Yeah, that means, because some people will say, okay, what the heck is going on? What you are inside there? What you are talking about? It's very easy. It's some sort of proper alignment of antenna. That means you are getting into the frequencies. You are frequency. You have a radio, but the level is low. And it means once you are properly set it up, your antenna, you can have much clearer audio without tremendous amounts of battery consumption. You need shorter cable or shorter antenna and all kind of those things. So this is very advanced radios, and radio and something like that. It's perfect example. It's like Panasonic from 70s and or Sony's from 70s and 80s, and it's good. I've got one of those, I'm just saying, and the grid will be shut down sooner or later, like it or not, that's true. And this is perfect for radio communication, I'm just saying.
Okay.
We can enlarge it if you want, of course. If you don't, then.
Yeah, I think this is good, but maybe we can get a tutorial or something and add to the video.
Yes,
people want to know
we can in the description. Yes, it will be not a big deal.
Okay, yeah. So now that we brought up that part, so just to show what's going on, so this already happened.
Yes, you are right. And this is it. This is article. You got the article. So do you know what? You let you talk through the article or whatever.
This is just showing that they're hitting TV towers, and with fairly decent precision. You can see the explosion there, and I do have some video footage. I think it's in the next one. Here it is. People are obviously watching it from their
И
patio.
дальше еще сейчас будут. Она стоит. И будет падать, не дай бог, прямо на наш дом.
Yes, so this lady, she's very worried that once they hit the radio/TV tower, and once it will collapse, this lady is very worried that pretty much if it will not be only like those electronical devices, but the whole construction, right? So this lady on the video, what she's saying, she's very worried about the whole, once the whole construction will collapse, that it will hit their house. Yeah, so she's far away, of course. She was filming it, and that was what she was worried about. Yeah, that's it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because you could hear her talking. I just didn't.
Yes.
Okay. We were talking about, just intrusion countermeasures for electronics. I don't know. I heard the word black ice somewhere, and I started looking into it a little bit, and they do talk about this cyberspace virtual reality environment, walls of ice, stone, black ice, or whatever. So I started looking, and then there's this black ice security. I think we talked about this before.
Yes.
The contracts such as snipers, force protection, personal security, cybersecurity, all of these different things that are affecting us. Remember, a lot of our facilities for electronics and grids and all that is all hooked in through like some kind of grid that's accessible through the cyberspace. And then I found this book. It was called Brad Thorpe Black Ice. And what I thought was interesting is you start looking at the storyline, and it's about Russia deploying nuclear-powered submarines in the Arctic waters and China wooing the European Arctic belt countries with their investments in infrastructure. The U.S. is slowly getting sidelined with the race to control the Arctic riches. And I thought it was interesting because I heard like this thread of some of the things we were talking about, and you had mentioned that there's things going on in Alaska that nobody's bringing up.
No. I mean, yes, you are right. It's true. It's real. And I'm like, what in the world is going on that nobody, and I mean literally nobody is writing, talking about it or whatever, nothing. And there are pretty much, they were massive bombings in Alaska, like crazy ass rages, like fights. Let's say the things literally went out of control in Alaska, the heavy resistance and all kind of those things, and nobody is talking about it. And I don't know, it's so weird.
So there's no news.
Yes.
Which is, and well, here again, there's a lot of distracting news to get us to look in the other direction while they're creating other problems, and they've been really obviously doing that heavily for the past 5 years.
Because from my point of view, it's like, okay, fine. You've got war. I was talking about it like from, let's say, from high ranked officers within, I don't know, CIA, NSA, MIA. MIA is pretty much the same as CIA, but MIA is within military. And I was thinking about the whole situation from their point of view, and I was like, of course, CIA can't just get public and say the things literally like that, but at least some sort of basic intel, basic info to American public, because Americans are, most of them, they are normal, they are paying taxes and are a lot of fees and whatever, and those organizations, agencies, they are totally inactive, and there is pretty much, I don't want to say no, but tremendously little amount of army presence, of US Army presence in Alaska, and they pretty much, the Russians smash Alaska like nothing. They are all over the place, and let's say, yes, it was resistance, but not because of, let's say, US Army resistance, but people, they were armed, because of course you need to be armed. You need to be armed in Alaska in order to prevent, I don't know, bear attacks or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I was like, what in the world is going on? And now they are in Canada, they are heading south to US, and I was like, what?
But this
And
brings us back to the federal army of the Commonwealth as well.
Yes, and this is it. This is the stuff what completely, I am lost. I'm here, I'm lost, because it's, from my point of view, this is maybe the total craziest of crazy theories people maybe heard ever. But I am thinking that US have big problems of defending themselves, and they literally threw Ukraine as a bite. No, not for Russia, but for media. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, hey guys,
yes,
here in Europe, you've got the problem, but I'm like, what in the world is going on here? You are not defending your country. I don't want to say at all, but it's big time, right? And there are no news. At least maybe I've got the problem. Maybe I am the problem here, and I don't know the things. But I asked tons of people from wide variety of states in US, from people different of races, people, I don't know, they are into conspiracy theories, they are like 50-50, they are completely not, no matter of race, no matter of, let's say, social status or whatever, and nobody knows about this problem, about this issue.
There's absolutely no news on this topic. Correct. Is that the
am I right? Please say me.
Yeah, and they were starting to cover it a bit. There was a conflict there, but we know that there is like a puppet regime that is choosing to allow certain things to happen to Americans, literally allowing Americans to become vulnerable, sick, attacked, not in a safe environment in a lot of the cities, allowing cities to be burnt down. So we've had a lot of issues, and so for them to allow others to come in and take property is not surprising. And this, for them to then turn around and try to encourage war elsewhere for personal gain and issues that are related to something regarding money and power. It's a very sad time for Americans. And I really hope that whatever nightmare was sent to us in this area would be resolved. And I think that if they I keep on asking, to someone to return us back to a status where we can at least feel like we're somewhat safe here, because it's almost like someone is set on having us destroyed, and by giving us incompetency to play around with the destiny of not just our people but everyone, because it's inciting a World War III.
Yes, sorry, I don't want to be, let's say, off topic or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? As you said it loud, and pretty much you confirm it. Like, what in the world is going on? Like,
Yeah.
pretty much you have problem. I mean, not you as a person, but you, and it is not, once again, it is not
As an
Alaska.
American, where it's by the grace of God that people are still operating as they are right now, because clearly the intention of the administration is not to protect and help humanity in the United States or for the world, in that matter. So the elite has definitely played a trick or a joke on all of us, and they are sitting by, humorously acknowledging that this is their game that they can play, and always have a place that they can be protected, but not everyone else, and watch it as if it's for their own entertainment. So it's a painful thing to experience right now, and I hope that more people awaken to this. I know that a lot of those that are listening to our channel are aware of it already, so it's nothing new. But
Yes, I'm just kind of, I don't know even how can I say it. It's so weird. Like, from my point of view, once again, I am not saying that this is the case, but as time, how can I say it, grows, if you want, or as time continues, if you want to call it that way, right? More and more, it looks like, okay, we've got not only economical problems, but in US, I'm talking in US, but there is Russian invasion and all kind of those things via, I mean, through Alaska, and all kind of, and,
right.
and other problems, right? And they are not defending themselves in the first place, and in the second place, they don't want the world to see it. So I don't want to say they create it, but it's like they simply they created war, but they simply, how can I properly call it, like, created certain distortion, distraction, and bam,
Well,
literally, literally, I think that this will to be beeped, but they created this effect, like, punch in the face, shit hit the fan, and they I don't want to say created, but they somehow encouraged, I don't want to say they encouraged the Ukrainian war, but let's say they are taking advantage of it, and it's like, yeah, this is what we want, because this is so crazy. It's like,
it's been designed, Peter, that we don't have any intelligent representation, and so you can't have peace talks unless you have people that are coherent. And if they're incapable of having an intelligent conversation, then they're incapable of a sophisticated peace conversation that keeps war at bay. And so this was definitely intended not just against the Americans, but against the world, because they wanted to make sure that there were no normal conversations or negotiations or peace talks where, cutting off the power to a group of people, innocent people that had nothing to do with any of this up in Russia, is not it's only going to further exacerbate the deplorable behavior, where one bad behavior doesn't mean that you should encourage another bad behavior, and those citizens should not go without. They should have access to everything, you know, that they need to survive. So it's inhumane what's happening and what's going on with the UN and SWIFT and everyone else that's involved. So I mean, that's my view, and we're trying to avoid some of the political stuff too much, because I know you don't want to talk about it, but
yes, I don't want, but it's from my point of view, it's unfair for Americans that they simply, and I don't know, it looks almost like they don't want to um, to it almost looks like they don't want to they don't want to defend the US. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's what I'm saying, is they're blocking that by bringing in someone that doesn't have the mental faculties to figure out basic decisions. And so defense is something that is deliberately avoided. Also, you know, if there's money exchange or power exchange or some other deals that have been made in order to stay in a power position, essentially that's called a puppet regime. And so it's not intended to defend or protect. It was intended to dominate and manipulate. And of course, you know, being guided and told what to say and do is probably the biggest problem. So as I said, it's not just harming the Americans, but the whole world, because there's no capacity for negotiation, and there's because the intelligence doesn't exist from our corner of the world. And there are many capable people that could do it, but they're not allowing them in that position of power. So that's the elite playing the game, wanting a destruction of the planet. That's why they should be the primary focus. And we know every time we focus on them, they're always steps ahead, because they have access to technology and the ability to utilize the communication venues to, you know, to change the story, to distract, and to create their propaganda magic. And when that doesn't work anymore, and it's been very difficult for them because of alternate media, just like us right now, that they have to resort to silencing everyone, because they don't have, you know, because truth is not in their corner, and right, you know, any type of consciousness is not in their corner, and malevolence towards humanity is really obvious. So it's showing their true colors, and they don't like it. I think they've not, anytime they're backed against a wall like this, they lash out. So, but they honestly, in my opinion, and I've talked to many of the galactic groups and even the Intergalactic Council, and I suggested that they don't really have a purpose. And I know that we're in a learning phase. We have to make decisions consciously to shift our reality, but I'm still trying to understand. I feel like they're an intruding party on our planet, and you know, are perfect candidates for extraction. That's my opinion.
Yep, you are right. You are very right. But we mentioned, my bad, shutting down the grid. So pretty much, first things first, once there will be no electricity or no, you know, because it's like, there is no internet. Do you know what, guys? Screw the internet.
We could actually shift this potential to where our grids don't go down, and they actually do get exposed for what they've done. Correct? We could actually
Yes.
shift this timeline. I just wanted to bring up something really quick on this article so I can
Go
move
ahead.
on to this article. I thought, first of all, it's they bring up Tor, right? The name Tor,
Yeah.
which is part of, the like Odin and some of the Nordic, like I'll say Norse, not to be associated with the Nordic group, which is a different group. But in the TV show Fringe, they talk about how there is a scientist in the future from Oslo, Norway. There's Oslo, Norway here in this book, and how they actually change and create these observers that don't have any consciousness, and they actually come in to destroy the world, but they sort of remind me of the Nordics. I just
Sort of, yes, sort of, yeah.
yeah, but they seem robotic, but that's because the emotional part of them where they don't feel or care whether people get destroyed, they sort of have a very analytical part of their brain that's enhanced. And that's about it. Okay, so we started looking at different types of weaponry and things that can create these. Here's a neuroelectromagnetic frequency weapon.
That's
so
crazy. That's crazy.
Right,
Yeah.
they don't even need something huge. They have this smaller type of weapon, and it almost looks like it's kind of thin and unusual. Like you're like, well, what in the world does that do? And that can also knock out any type of electronics, not just the grid, but possibly anything that's run, locally, right?
Yeah.
If they work with those extremely low frequencies, the ELF frequencies.
Yeah.
And it also affects the neuroelectromagnetic frequency, the brain waves.
Yes.
And so the people that have, some of these injections, and there's the metal that's in the bodies. And I don't want to get too deeply into that. They're also going to be heavily affected by some of the stuff. And so, you can read. This was
there is very in detail, in-depth article.
Yeah, about what this does, and that's old. Here's Pine Gap is mentioned as well. This is
how old it is. It is 1950s, 60s, whatever. Yeah.
Yes. So what they have right now is much more advanced. Is that correct?
Correct.
Imagine, yeah. There's Lockheed Martin is mentioned as one of the contractors. We know that a lot of this stuff was created a long time ago. We talked about this Taiwan also having a massive power outage, 5 million households. So that's quite a bit of people.
Just by the way, it's pretty much all the inhabitants of my homeland, just by the way.
Where they in Taiwan?
No, I'm saying that 5 millions of.
Oh, okay. I see. You're saying the population.
Yes, exactly. It's total crazy.
Yeah. So they're already started. They've already started in Ukraine, and here is in Taiwan. And
yes, because we are not talking about which kind of side. We are not taking sides, because this is not about sides. This is about they are making experiments if it will work or if it not. And they are making, let's say, they are playing certain scenarios and all kind of those stuff. And it's total crazy, geez. It's total crazy.
I think that's a big, huge convoy that's going on.
Yes.
There, but we're not going to get
thermobaric.
Going to talk about that. This is thermobaric weapons. Yeah. And so they're called vacuum bombs. Used powdered metal to create a rapid expanding fireball. Under international law, they must only be used against military targets and not civilians. And so here's another article. We'll let people read these articles. Could these also shut down grids?
Yep, definitely.
So yeah, here's some more information on that, and look at the explosion.
Yeah, this is crazy. I saw it on my own eyes, and it's, believe me, it's like, holy crap, this is next level stuff. Yeah.
What does it do to the air quality and everything? Is it?
It's pretty much it is sucking the air because look, it's vacuum. So it is creating vacuum, and it will suck you to the center of explosion. It's like, holy crap, it's crazy.
Right, you could see that the movement of it is pulling. It's creating this
Like
sphere. Yeah.
Yes, it's sphere.
Like
yes.
Almost looks like it's two little planets coming together.
This is it. What I was saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Aerosol bomb, fuel air explosive, uses oxygen from the surrounding air to generate a high temperature explosion. And such as there's a black powder, like gunpowder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's serious. There's also this electromagnetic bomb, a weapon of electrical mass destruction. This was an abstract that I found. We'll have that also included.
Yeah, but look how long this article is. It's so crazy.
It's used in Desert Storm, so you know that was
Yes.
back.
So this is it. It's like if we want to say who is bad or who is bad, who is worse or whatever. I mean, if it is US or Russia or whoever, it's pointless to discuss about that. It's like,
right, yeah.
Both of them have got their own interests and whatever. I'm just saying.
So that, you know, if people want to, you know, read a little bit about what these things.
It is not a little bit. And look at those graphs, everything. If you are into math and science and whatever, you can dig in much in depth of it. This is very good.
This is for people like, you know, you talked about, well, if they wanted to, they can go into the waters and cut out the grids that way. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. That's what I mean. It's getting to be kind of obvious. There's more than one way to attack the grid, and unfortunately, why would some people actually believe that's when everything good's going to happen, and I'm not really necessarily feeling that anything good's going to come out of shutting down the grid, because it's not the people. It's and I don't think that we need to shut down the grid to get the elite, because the elite always have an escape plan.
Yes.
People need to be more intelligent when they're starting to look at these things instead of just repeating everyone else. Here is the allegations of white phosphorus munitions being used by Russia. That's another type of, it's a chemical weapon. I'm not sure if that would affect the grid, but it's
no, definitely not. But I don't want to talk about what it can cause, because I saw it in action few times and I was like, holy crap, this is, and once again, I will not watch my language. That was next level shit. What it can cause, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's,
look at this thing.
I know.
It almost looks like an atomic bomb, the way it creates that little mushroom cloud.
Yeah.
And that's a phosphorus, white phosphorus.
Yes. I saw it, and I was so shocked when I saw it first time. And once I realized, like, holy crap, what is capable of, what is this thing capable of doing with, which kind of damage is it able to create, to do on human body. I was like, holy crap, this is not good.
All of these things are meant to harm not just humans, but everything living, you know, all plant life, animals, insects, everything that creates
Everything, yep.
ecosystem. It creates chemical burns. Yeah, we're looking at, you know, some serious weaponry here.
Yes, you are right.
There was also some kind of suspicious package that came to the Russian embassy in Australia.
Yeah.
So that was, I just wanted to mention that. So I guess it's Macron is the one that's been talking to Putin. And I'm not sure how that's going to go. We just have some other, and this is going to bring us back to the radios now.
Yes.
And some of the options. I brought this up too here. We're going to be coming back to Fringe. And there was something, Walter remembers his work on Project Elephant, where the Army used an electromagnetic pulse. So here's using electromagnetic fields, not just to attack people, but to render soldiers invisible. But prolonged exposure causes deformities. This is almost like Philadelphia Project, right? Where they
Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where they were actually went into a phased out, right? And then when they came back, it was deadly for some of them.
Yes, you are right.
But even the other ones that didn't die got affected, right?
And very, very affected in very bad way. And Russians, they are not using this. Instead of that, they are using Quicksilver. Help me, Quicksilver. Mercury. They are using mercury in order to be completely invisible. So
the soldiers, the weaponry, the vehicles.
Yes, even tanks they can use. They are using mercury. Yes. Yes.
So that brings it to a whole other level. Like here I said, you know, yeah, it's advancing in a way, but not getting us anywhere by some of these things.
And now we are getting to the yes. This is crazy.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Fringe, you need to watch it. I mean, there's a lot of the agendas and very strange experiments that have been going on that we've kind of experienced. They're right there, and you know, as a Bostonian, I mean, there's so many scenes of locations that I recognized, and it was quite interesting.
And now we are back into these gentleman videos, Hamrad88, aka Tom Styles, and we've got a lot of. Can you please click on the videos? Cart videos? No, videos. There is cart videos. On the very top, you've got under Hamrad. Please, under Hamrad, you've got cart videos. Yes, this exactly. So there are tons of very useful videos. They are touching the actual topic, actual problematics, and whatever, you know. I'm just saying.
People to learn, and there's a lot of tutorials and things here.
Exactly.
So I think that, that was something that we needed.
Yes.
I think that's
definitely good. Definitely good.
These are some up, and I think, is this the end of it? Yeah, because these are all
pretty much, yeah. And I think there is this there's reference to this video, Ghost Division, Sabaton Ghost Division. And I mean, technically we shouldn't play the song, or we can't play the song.
I can read the lyrics. Fast as the wind, the invasion has begun, shaking the ground, the force of 1,000 guns. First in the line of fire, first into hostile land, tanks leading the way, leading the way. charging the lines with the force of a furious storm, fast as the lightning phantom swarm, 200 miles of nightfall taken within a day.
Yep, this is
And
it.
they're talking about the Panzer Elite, born to complete, never retreat, Ghost Division, living or dead, always ahead, fed by your dread.
Yeah, that's
No.
it.
That's it, right? So we'll go back here, and I think we can
Provide link.
we can let's see, get through this part. And so we'll move
this exactly. Yes, as you said, because we shouldn't play the audio. It's not good idea.
Yeah, we can just show little bits and pieces for copyright purposes, but I think so you're seeing, that this here again, it is overlay of time. This is like World War II.
Definitely.
And so, an overlay of World War II, Cold War.
Everything. Yes.
Everything. So we're kind of, there's a lot of confusion and people are reacting. And so, and that's pretty much it for today, Peter.
Do you know what? I think yes. I think you are right. It's we are fine. Let's say we are fine. Yes. I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, or at least that's all I had. But I think,
yes.
Just to keep people informed, updated, and also remember holding on to the highest intention for humanity and holding on to the best timeline for all of us, helping people to awaken, be more aware of their surroundings. Remember, it's with all this confusion, there's a lot of bad behavior and some good behavior, and we just need to neutralize everything and to preserve humanity, our planet, and all living things at this point. So thank you, Peter, for joining us today, and make sure you share. Definitely share this information with people. Help them to understand a little bit more of what's going on. This is not one against the other. This is, for an awakening of truth and preserving everyone. So this is not, we're not taking any one side over the other. And we need more information out there.
Yes, you are true. And once again, thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to be on your channel. And we will keep inform you as fast as it will be possible. And hold tight, guys. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and thank you for your support and help. And we will continue to provide you the information when it comes in. Have a good day.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyarael.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All the links can be found in the description. Thank you.